What's up, fellas? Ladies, gentlemen, children of all ages. Wake Up Mintzy, presented by Dude Wipes on this Wednesday morning. Not live from the Barstool Chicago office. It's a new day. Got some energy back. Fired up. Ready to be here. Going to be joined, as always, by our good friend Tyler Moody. Pounding some Stella Blue Ice coffee. Even though it's cold outside, Stella Blue Ice coffee always bangs, and it's easy to make. As always, Dude Wipes here to clean up our messes. Walmart, Amazon, Target. All over the World Wide Web. It's a revolution. Dude Wipes will change your life. And we're going to be joined by Tyler Moody. A lot of stuff to get into today. It's time to get on with life. I got the energy back today. You know, yesterday was not my favorite, but we're fired up this morning. We got some college football playoff stuff. A lot of stuff to get into with that, with the rankings coming out last night.
Well, hang on. I don't think you can get into college football just yet. I think that you haven't. All right, here's the thing, Mintz. You didn't take care of your responsibilities. And so now we have to take away your privileges and you must earn them back. So here's how this is going to work. Throughout the course of the show, you're going to have to do certain things to earn your football talk. You can't just start talking SEC football. You are going to have to do things for me and for chat to earn back your football time. So here's what I need from you. I'm going to give you 15 minutes of football time if you will give me an electric, Richard Simmons-esque Wake Up Mintzy like intro right here. I need the old Mintzy energy. I need you to step up and show me.
You're telling me you want me to dance. You were telling me you want me to dance.
Yeah, I want you to dance for us, monkey. Yeah. Make sure you do it in frame though, please.
All right, let's go.
Give me some Wake Up Mintzy. It's Wake Up Mintzy time.
I'm feeling fire. Is that a good start?
Yeah, I wanted to hear some like it's time for Wake Up Mintzy.
Okay.
I wanted to give me.
All right. Okay. Well, I think it's time. You're asking me to dance. You're asking me to dance. Let's turn it up. Let's turn it up. Let's get the energy high. I hear what you're saying, and I feel like there's more coming. Okay, All right. Let's go. Let's go, Tyler.
What do we think, Chet? Do we think that he earned his football time? Was that good enough to earn a little football talk for Mintz? I need chat to interject on this.
I feel like I know where this is going.
I got a feeling they're going to want to see just a little bit more from you.
Okay.
I don't think you pumped them up enough this morning. It didn't get me pumped up enough.
Okay, I didn't know. I wasn't totally sure what was being asked because you threw me off guard.
Sure. No,
but I hear what you're saying. We got to get this energy up. Let's go. No, yeah. I hear what you're saying. You're saying let's freaking turn this up. Let's pound some Stella Blue. Let's get hyped up. It's a good day to be alive.
If you can give me Richard Simmons-esque, like it's time to wake up with Mintzy, something ridiculous. I need a little hook with it and some superior movement from you, and I'm gonna give you your football time here.
Okay. Let's go. It's time to wake up with Mintzy. Let's go. Let's get the dance going. It's a good day to be alive. It's a new day. We got the energy back. We got talking football. We got Tyler Moody. We got Stella Blue. We got Dude Wipes. All right.
I'll give you that one. That's a little bit better. That's what I needed to hear from you. Just something to get us going. Put a smile on our face.
I am going today, dude. I woke up. I'm in a. I'm in a fiery mood today. I'm ready to get on with it. Let's have a freaking day, boys. Let's get in here. And the only thing I'll say, I'm going to be saying obviously nothing. Surviving Barstool first episode aired last night. Second one's tonight. Check it out. That's all I have to say on that front. That's it.
Fair enough.
Great show. Everything great. Check it out. Our production team's the best in the world. They did a damn good job. All right, that's it. Saying nothing else. All right.
Chat wants to know how much shit you have in your pockets right now, by the way.
All right, well, we'll see.
It looked like you're packing.
All right, we got my phone. We got some keys. And we got, yeah, I am packing. We got AirPod charger.
Okay.
And we got 2 things of Lucy's. We got the espresso, and we've got the citrus. So that's what we got.
You take the coffee one in the morning to get going, the espresso?
Yeah, the espresso Lucy is the coffee espresso bangs. I mean, it's a day starter. And shout out, Lucy, great Barstool sponsor as well. Amazing product. All right, we got the energy going. Can we talk a little football? We'll take some more.
Talk a little football. I think we need to address a couple things from chat. Then we're going to talk football. All right, here's what we got. They want to see at some point you in the parking lot doing like an apology video.
All right.
Look, let's be honest with chat real quick here. We kind of had to talk yesterday. We still have to keep things inside of this room. Mintzy has been relegated to this room. So we have to do things within the confines of the podcast studio.
It is being discussed, but it can't be this week. Is what's going on. We're here. We got a new energy, and honestly, I said a lot of stuff yesterday. We're getting on with it today. I'm lucky to still be part of the team, and let's go. Let's freaking go. I'm glad to be here. Let's do the damn thing. That's what I have to say.
Most importantly is that we cannot be an extra burden on the production team. They've got so much shit going on, and
no doubt
we need to do everything internally. So here's what I got. In order for everybody was asking yesterday about us taking callers and doing all that stuff. So I ordered a connector that I can hook up my iPhone to my mixer here at my house, and we can do callers straight into. I'm going to set up a Google account. And we can take callers. That's going to put no extra pressure, no burden on production, none of that. And we'll add an extra 10 seconds to our timer, our dump button, because if
I want to clear that before that can't. I love the idea. I'm all about it. Agreed. Can't be today because I've got to ask other people.
Yeah,
about
not today. I don't have the piece anyways. This is something for next week.
Let's go.
I do want to do good by chat.
No, I agree.
Let's get it cleared. But it keeps any extra pressure off of production. I can handle everything on this side because we know that you can't be in studio answering calls. So that would fail tremendously. So we'll try and handle it on this side. Like I said,
I just got to make sure that's okay because But I'm fired up to be here, dude. Like I said, man, this is a different new day. I got big energy. I even got my ass. I was in the gym at 6 a.m. running 3.4 miles today. I know Moody talked about that.
Is that what you said?
No, I said I got my ass in the gym. I ain't get no acid. No, there ain't been no acid this morning. I can assure you of that. But, I'm up. I'm fired up. I got a new energy. I ran into Brandon Walker getting breakfast. He was in here working out too. Shout out Walker too. We both are kind of had a good moment this morning. We're like, hey, we slightly lost weight during football season and Thanksgiving. That's a freaking win. That's a positive building block. Let's build on it because this is the hardest time of year. I had a good weigh in. All right. The college football playoff stuff. Okay. Lane Kiffin is the best ever on Twitter. I don't know if you saw Lane's Twitter. I actually wrote a blog about it already. There you go. A little sick brag, like I should be doing every day. Lane got on Twitter and just went nuts on the playoff committee and saying, is this really how you rank teams? And just how are you giving the ACC love? That conference is a joke, basically. And what a tweet. So Lane's referring to Miami Hurricanes are 12, Ole Miss is 13, Moody. And Miami doesn't really, has a very long shot, but there's a path. Ole Miss has no path. And Lane's got a hell of a point here. Look, I know I'm not saying Ole Miss should be in the playoffs. They blew it. I get all that. But what the hell have the Miami Hurricanes done to deserve being ahead of them? Who's their best win this year? Duke? They played a dog shit ACC. They lost. Their 2 losses are at Georgia Tech. At Syracuse is an 11-point favorite Saturday in a game. No one's surprised they lost. They blew their ACC championship and playoff shot. Cam Ward bailed their asses out the entire freaking season. They have a top 40 roster. If that, you watch Miami play on defense, how are they slow at Miami? How the hell is that possible? You ain't got no speed on defense? Their defense is a freaking joke. They won 10 games because Cam Ward pulled 8 of them out of his ass. And he had an incredible year. But they have no big wins. And at what point, and there's this whole thing going on with the committee. You got it with Indiana. You got it with SMU. 3-loss SEC teams have done more in that conference than these 1- and 2-loss teams in inferior conferences. And I don't even think it's a question how much better Bama and Ole Miss and South Carolina are than these teams. I think everybody knows it. And, there's a lot of talk right now, Bama in the 11 spot looking good. The only question on Bama, they're the top 3 loss team. I'm not arguing that. I know there's a Bama fatigue, but I do think they have a better resume than both Ole Miss and South Carolina. Mm-hmm. The question with Bama is all about SMU Clemson. Because if Clemson beats SMU, does 2-loss SMU get punished for losing their conference championship game, or does 3-loss Bama go in over them? And I think 3-loss Bama should be in over them. Because who the hell does SMU beat? They lost at home to BYU with their best win at Louisville. I don't know. I just don't think the ACC's even in the – I think it's a different freaking sport, Moody. I think the SEC is it's not even close, and you're just penalizing people for playing real schedules. And I think getting through the SEC with 3 losses is a hell of a lot tougher than the ACC with 2. I can damn sure tell you that. And I'm fired up about it.
While I don't disagree with you here, do you think that you have any bias in this potentially? Just a little bit.
Of course. But having said that, I'm not wrong. Look, Ole Miss doesn't deserve to make the playoffs. They lost at home to a 4-8 Kentucky team. That I'm not sitting here saying they should be 12. I just think they should be 12 ahead of Miami at 13 with the long shot spot. I just think it's a joke that Miami loses at Syracuse there and doesn't fall out. They have no good wins. They have no good wins. And they can't stop anybody.
But Cam Ward might beat Ole Miss by himself.
How?
Ole Miss has not looked good down the stretch. They barely beat Mississippi State.
I watched you see that front seven?
Yeah, they're good. They are good. That front seven's very good. But there's holes on that offense.
No, Ole Miss offensive line. Ole Miss offensive line. The offensive line and running game really let them down.
Yeah,
I'm not.
man.
I know. That Egg Bowl that first half was real rough. Second half was better.
And that's what I saw. And I'm sitting there thinking Ole Miss doesn't deserve to be anywhere near the college football playoff just because that first half was very telling of where they're at right now because they should have beat the dog shit out of a horrible Mississippi State team.
Yeah, rivalry game, but still, I hear you.
Yeah,
the offense let them down. The defense is elite all year, and the offense, especially the offensive line and running game, and it was just stupid. But regardless, shout out Lane Kiffin for calling out the committee. It's BS, and they're right. All kinds of scenarios, Moody. I went, I did a deep dive on DraftKings on I did my Tuesday deep dive on the conference championship games yesterday, and what is crazy to me. Dude, Penn State has a path to be in the 1 seed in the playoffs. A week ago, you'd have never thought they'd be in the Big Ten title game. I'm going to run through them real quick. I have some thoughts on them, just initial early thoughts. Tulane at Army, 5-point favorite Friday night in the AAC championship. This game should be in freaking NOLA, and I should have been going to it because I got Barstool show, Rat Race taping down there in a wedding this weekend. But they blew it when they lost at home to Memphis. And now they got to go to Army. But let me tell you something. The Wave about to bounce back, Moody. Because John Summerall, you want a stat? John Summerall's last 3 games against option teams, Army and Navy. You know how many points this defense has allowed total? 9.
14.
9. Troy beat Army 10-9, and he had a Tulane shutout of Navy and another shutout. He knows how to stop the option. And the Memphis loss was bad, but Memphis is still a 10-2 team with NFL skill guys, quarterback. The Wave going to bounce back like that, and that would be great to see Tulane win a conference championship, even though they're out of the playoff. Arizona State, Iowa State, Big 12 championship, Jerry World. Dude, I talked about yesterday. Arizona State's the hottest team. They're favored by 2. I love Arizona State in that game. I don't think that stacks up well for Iowa State, that game being in Jerry World. On a faster track, Iowa State don't have the skill guys or speed. Arizona State can run. And I think, you see it in the NFL, dude. Dallas home games always go over. Dude, games get wild in that football stadium, man. It's 51. I like Arizona State and over. The Texas-Georgia SEC championship is obviously the game everybody's talking about. Texas 2.5-point favorite. And Georgia a little bit of a home dog here in Atlanta, Moody. Like an hour from Athens. But having said that, it's always hard to beat a good team twice. And I think that first game, Georgia's defensive line, Georgia took it to them. They dominated that game. They controlled it the whole way. They're up 23-0 at half. But their offense still didn't really look good. They just forced a bunch of turnovers. And Carson Beck
has not impressed me this whole year.
No, and I'll tell you what else. Where are their wide receivers? You're Georgia. They don't have anybody that can separate or make plays at all. They got decent tight ends. ETN, the running back's out. I don't think Georgia's explosive enough here in this game in Atlanta on turf, but I'm just hesitant because the home dog thing and them being at home. So Texas 2.5-point favorite. It's like 49. I don't love betting unders in dome games, even though I could see Georgia's offense struggling here. Texas, look, you got to give them credit. I mean, I was wrong last week on that.
Team, man.
Yeah, and Sark's a great coach. Great. And you've got to think he'll make adjustments from that first Georgia game. He's a great play caller. And the whole rest of the year, they've been good and consistent. They got a good defense. So I kind of think Texas gets it done. Still 2.5-point road favorite, kind of like, I don't know. It's just like, how do you handicap that Atlanta? Is that like a home field for Georgia being an hour away? You know they'll have more fans there, but
Texas will travel, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Very fascinating. Texas could win the SEC championship their first year. I mean, really, really strong.
Our boy Dees says that the Big Ten is the superior conference right now. What do you think about that?
Hell no. I mean, the Big Ten's top teams are really good. I'll give them that. The top. Oregon's number 1 in the country. Ohio State, despite choking to Michigan, still a damn good football team. Committee showed it. Their number 6 ranking. They're still going to get a home playoff game, and I think that's – I don't have a problem with that. I know that Michigan loss is bad, but they're a super talented team. And I'm not right, like you said, not writing them off. And Penn State's good. I do think Penn State's good this year. You know, obviously the knock on Franklin, never can win the big one. Can he do it Saturday against Oregon in this Big Ten title game? I kind of have my doubts. But Indiana, number 4 team, I guess is fine. But it just drops. The thing with that Big Ten is how much it drops beyond that top 4. In the SEC, you're like 7, 8 deep. You know, behind the top 4, you know, what is it, like Michigan, Minnesota? I mean, Illinois, Nebraska, that's the thing with it. The depth ain't there. You look at the 6, 7 SEC teams are LSU and Florida. Not even freaking close, in my opinion.
Next up, chat wants you to, I don't know what this is about. They want you to address the Tate blog.
I saw, I haven't read it yet. I saw on the blog that he wrote my thoughts on Mintzy getting the last spot in Barstool. I'm guessing... I'll read it after the show, and it'll be addressed tomorrow.
We should probably not talk about Survivor at all, as best as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
So exactly. I didn't know what it was about, so we'll probably try and steer clear.
Yeah, exactly.
Chat, give us some ideas here, things that Mintz can do within the studio, confined, nothing absurd, to get more football talk time. We got to have a couple more things before the show ends here. Mintz.
I'm thinking. I've got one. I'm going to do one I've got one I'm going to do for the chat right now.
Okay, you got something you're just going to give
I
us?
got something. All right. I got something I'm going to give the people. We're turning the energy up. We're bringing it back.
Give the people what they want. I can't change cameras right now. Hold up, we can't see you though.
Oh man.
Fix your camera. Fix your camera. Change your camera down. We can. I don't have access to all the cameras right now. Is the unfortunate part. There we go. Okay. All right. Okay. Not too bad. It's better effort than I was expecting right there, boys.
Those probably weren't the best push-ups, but we tried. I had the brick watch on.
You didn't quite get low enough, but I'll give you credit. You grinded out 10 right there. You gave us some effort, some quality effort.
You're asking for the effort. We're bringing the effort.
I'll tip the cap. Yeah.
Yeah, we're bringing the damn effort. We're bringing the energy this morning, even though I'm a little. We got to work back into shape a little bit. Today was. Well, it wasn't bad. It was like 3. Walked and jogged. It was like 3.4 in 43 minutes. All right. Where were we? We're off track. What's good?
You earned some football talk. You earned a few minutes of football time. So whatever you want to talk about next.
All right. We're going to this college. This SMU Clemson situation. Because the dynamics of the playoffs, the ACC, Big 12, and Mountain West games are going to set everything. So if SMU wins, they're the number 3 seed. we got to talk about that too. Whoever the hell decided the 4 conference champs get these buys, this shit's crazy. You're going to tell me we're going to have SMU as the 3 seed and Boise as the 4 here? They got to change this thing immediately. Like, I get, like, if you win your conference championship, maybe you get automatically a top 8 seed and you get a home playoff game. But how you going to give a bye to SMU or Boise? Like, give me a break. I mean, I'm not saying in Boise, the winner of Boise UNLV gets to go to the playoffs because UNLV would be the 12 if they won. The other Boise's a 4-point favorite at home on the blue turf. Line seems a little short. Like, I kind of thought Boise would be like 6.5 with it being at home, you know? So it kind of makes me, we got to check that weather report, but kind of makes me like UNLV a little bit just because the line comes out a little low. You know, it just looks a little weird. Thought Boise would be 6 at home. It's 4. I don't know. Kind of smelled something when I saw that point spread, you know? But yeah.
We should listen to you right now because you've been hot as hell. Despite other decisions, you have been pretty damn hot in the gambling front. So.
Yeah. When we've been able to place the bets, yes. The Boise thing, that line looks weird. And so if it's like a real cold weather game, you know, that it's because it's a night game on Friday, that would be bad for UNLV for sure. Vegas team, like athletic up there. But, man, that line looks short. I mean, Boise won at UNLV in like a lower scoring game this year. They beat UNLV in the conference championship in Vegas last year. I just thought Boise would be 6. I know Boise kind of hadn't really been covering spreads lately, though. I mean, they beat Oregon State by 16 and kind of controlled that whole game, but they barely won at Wyoming. It was like a 23-point favorite. I mean, they kind of hadn't been looking like dominant, but they're getting it done. I mean, they're getting it done, and they get the benefit of the doubt for their pedigree. That's for damn sure when it comes to – I mean, they're the one G5 team that stayed consistent over the years. The volatility in the G5, I know Boise had like a couple sort of down years, but not really. I mean, the G5 stuff, like you get a good coach, a good young coach and a good quarterback, and you have a good couple years and everybody's gone. Year to year, it never is stable. Boise's the only team that's been stable. It's been like 20 years. It's been like maybe more. So you do got to give them credit. It kind of would be like well earned that they made the playoff after all these years, in my opinion on that. All right, this ACC championship situation. This is the one that's crazy. All right, SMU, 2.5-point favorite over Clemson. This game's in Charlotte. Over-under's like 57 or 58, which feels high to me, I think, with these two teams. Outdoors, I think they both have better defenses than people realize. But the situation here, Moody, all right, first of all, I got one sweat. I took that Clemson boosted at 12-1 last week, so I've got one fun sweat conference championship week. What's Clemson's middle? You know, they got gutted by their arch rival on their home field last week. But, I mean, this is a freaking player for the playoff. Who gives a crap about that? Does that linger into this? They got a second chance on life with Miami losing. So I think they should be real fired up. Charlotte ain't far from Clemson. They ought to have big crowd advantage. You know, how's SMU going to deal with, like, the pressure of this big a moment? They hadn't had a spot like this since they got the death penalty in the 80s. I don't know if they've ever had a spot like this.
They have not, no.
Ever. And now they're playing for the play. You know, how are they going to deal with that mentally? I know they got like spent a lot of money on the roster. They've had a very good year. I mean, obviously, to get here, they had one loss week 2 at home to BYU. But I don't know. I feel like Clemson's program's a little more used to this situation. Kind of makes me think Clemson's got a shot here. And Clemson, I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. I mean, they've not had a good year. They lost at home to South Carolina. They got blown out at home by Louisville. They got smoked by Georgia week 1. I mean, they got a little hot against the crappy ACC teams. Congratulations. And now they still can make the playoff just because they're in a dog shit league. But whatever. I mean, I don't know. What can you say?
How insane would it be in this first college football playoff to have Boise and freaking SMU as your 3 and 4 seed as the first college football playoff?
I think the rules will get changed immediately next year when that goes down.
You could be right.
I think the rule should be, like I said, if you're a conference champ, you get a top 8 seed, you get a home playoff game, but getting a bye for winning these crappy conferences, I don't know. I just feel like it's a little too much, in my opinion. And we'll see what happens. But the big thing is, okay, Moody, what if Clemson beats SMU? You got 2 losses SMU, but the second loss is a conference championship game. Does that get punished?
right? Does that knock you from the top 4?
Well, the question is, it's knocking them to the top 4. I mean, I'm asking
Yeah, but I'm
if
talking
SMU's
about
still in the
all the way out of the
Yeah,
top 12,
no,
from the
yeah,
top
yeah,
4.
dude. But they're not ranked top 4 though. Like the rankings, like 10, 11. But it's because they win that championship. But the question is, what happens if SMU loses? Does 2-loss SMU get in or 3-loss Alabama? And I mean, I have as much. I have as much Bama fatigue as anybody, but like I think they would deserve it more. But then there's also the debate of 2-loss SMU versus 1-loss Indiana. Like, because SMU and Indiana both go through the season with 1 loss. And everybody, Indiana's a lock to make the playoffs right now. And who have they beaten? I mean, they beat Michigan at home. I mean, they've been dominant. But I will give Indiana this. They've been dominant all year. And the way the eye test, other than the Ohio State game, has been good. When they've been healthy, when they beat Nebraska 56-7, I mean, they've run it up on teams, like they hadn't just been barely winning. So I think that probably counts for something. But I don't know. I mean, the whole thing's a crazy, crazy debate. And the thing is, I mean, Bama's got a horseshoe up their ass. They're going to end up getting in it and making a run. You just know it. That's just what they always end up in it, even when they're not.
Yeah.
And
the committee has put them in. The committee set this up to where if one team stumbles, Alabama is going to be in.
If SMU wins, Bama's, I think, in. It's the situation is just if Clemson wins, does SMU get in or not? And the committee said last night, too, that the rankings, the data points won't change. And so Miami being 12, Ole Miss being 13, and South Carolina being 14, it is what it is. And so, and that was while Lane Kiffin was going off on Twitter. And I mean, look, I don't blame Lane. I'd be pissed, too.
So I saw yesterday when the potential brackets came out, I saw Bama's path. If it shakes down the way they were talking about it yesterday, Bama's path was really, really good because they would get SMU, I believe, in the second round if it shook out that way. So I went ahead and I had a boost, and I took Bama, boosted it, and I think I've got them at 12-1, 14-1, something like that now to win the national championship.
Little Moody, little Bama. I know they got shut down at Oklahoma. But I think it's they could make a run. And I also think, and I know everybody and Stephen Shea makes fun of me for this, but, dude, a lot of these games are going to be like dome games in the playoffs, and stopping Milroe running on that turf is going to be a nightmare. That's what how they beat Georgia in the SEC championship last year. But, man, on those dome games, he can fly. And that's an element that's going to, he runs well anyway, but on turf, I think it's even more. And so I think that could be an element that takes them real far. So I like
and he's just at this point I'm looking for a guy like that dude that that's going to show up every single week that you can count on, because these are still one thing that I always keep in mind, these are 20, 21-year-old kids. Some of them don't show up in the big moments. I want the quarterback that's got the experience, somebody that you feel like is reliable, and I think Milroe in this spot. I think Bama's coming on at possibly the right time here. I like them. I boosted it up at 16-1 actually. I think they're at 12-1. I boosted it to 16-1.
All right,
I'll take it.
Moody going Bama, the 16-1.
Because my Ole Miss sweat is probably dead, Mintz. I was
dead.
Obviously in with you from the beginning of the season on Ole Miss.
That's just so brutal with me getting a 35-1, but whatever. It is. Yeah. It is what it is. It is what it is. But it's unfortunate. But excited for the championship games. This weekend. It's going to be a crazy weekend. And like I said, my early thoughts, I do that. A big part of why I've been crushing the football this year is that Tuesday breakdown I do with Tyler and I's very close mutual friend of ours every week. And, the thoughts were Tulane stood out at Army. Arizona State, I'm definitely taking against Iowa State. And, those are kind of my favorite games. But excited for conference championship weekend. I'll tell you what else I'm excited for. We'll talk more about tomorrow. You see this Thursday night football game we got this week, Moody?
Yeah, I was just looking at it because I'm in desperation mode for fantasy playoffs. So I was trying to make sure. I hope Romeo Doubs is back and healthy. I need Romeo Doubs back and healthy. But either way, this game is setting up to be one of the better Thursday night football games.
I got one I'm going to throw out. You want to talk about a future bet? You did the Bama one. I got a wild one I'm going to throw out. I looked at it last night, and it's before this Thursday night game. Right now, NFC North, top 3. I've never seen anything like this in the NFL. You've got 11-1 Detroit, 10-2 Minnesota, and 9-3 Green Bay. Moody, I've never seen that before in pro football. You never see 3 teams with 3 losses or less at this point in the season in the same division. And I've got a crazy one for you. The Green Bay Packers are 14-1 to win that division right now. And
I've got them at 6-1 from
14-1 right now. They're 2 games back. And right now, I mean, they've got losses directly head-to-head to Detroit and Minnesota. So they got to get freaking hot. But if they win this Detroit game Thursday night, then they're right there. And I'll tell you one thing I know about Green Bay Packer football. They win them December football games. They do it every year. You don't want to mess with them. That home field advantage, LaFleur, they get hot November, December. I know you've been big on them all year. I know Love got hurt, but, I mean, they're a really good football team. And, I mean, Minnesota's had a great year at 10-2. I'm not disregarding it. I just don't think they're as good as Green Bay and Detroit from what I've seen. They're not. And I think they're going to fall. And if Green Bay wins this Detroit game, the thing with Detroit, also been awesome all year. Dude, their defense, it's body count time. I mean, they are so hurt on defense that at some point I feel like the levee's going to break on them. And I don't know. I just think Detroit's 3.5 at home against Green Bay Thursday night. But I think I'm more thinking this is the time to hop on that 14-1. Because if Green Bay does win this game, they can get hot. And they're 9-3. I mean, they could finish like 13-4. And if they're gonna, I think there's a path.
Obviously, I'm big on Green Bay. They were kind of my them and Denver were my 2 teams coming into this season. They're both kind of living up to that hype. I wish I would have waited on the Packers, though. I've been a believer since the beginning of the season, but their odds now are getting better and better by the week, which is crazy because they're not playing bad football. They're playing good football.
They blew out Miami at home. They blew out Green Bay. They blew out San Francisco at home. They got a great balanced running game with Josh Jacobs, good offensive line. I feel like
Love is underrated too.
No, the improvement on the defense. They got rid of that crappy Joe Barry defensive coordinator last year who was terrible. And they upgraded. They hired the BC coach. They're good on D. They're tough at home late, man. I'm telling you. I actually might look at Green Bay NFC and Super Bowl off the same theory because if my theory's right and they come back and win that division and they got home playoff games in Lambeau, it's tough. The only thing, though, Philly's just, man. Philly looks real.
The NFC is legit. They have some very good teams at the top.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's Detroit, Philly, Minnesota, Green Bay. I think that West. I mean, who do you think the best team in the West is right now? Seattle's quietly kind of hot, but I think Arizona's the best team. We'll find out. They got a big game Sunday.
I'll be honest with you. It's so tough to say that one of those teams is the best now. They all have deficiencies in one way or the other.
The Niners, I know you think that they still could be a lot. Look, they got blown out at Green Bay. They got blown out of Green Bay at Buffalo.
No Ayuk, no CMC. It's tough.
I mean, Trent Williams and Bosa have been out too. I mean, how do you lose? They just feel like they're snake bit this year. And I know the Rams are still technically alive too. I just don't know if they have enough juice this year. With what I'm seeing,
what the West odds are at the moment.
Yeah, check that out on DraftKings. But that Green Bay one was the one I was going through them yesterday, and I thought that 14-1 on Green Bay might make a little more sense than people think. Even though they're 2 back, they've got head-to-head games against Detroit and Minnesota, and it all comes down to Thursday. Right. If Green Bay don't win Thursday night, Detroit. And last year, you remember Green Bay got hot when they won that Detroit game on Thanksgiving. That was when they got hot last year, which was when Love really came on down the stretch. And I think that there's a chance.
That's the main point that I was making. I think this was on the FFF pod early in the season whenever I was talking about making this Super Bowl bet for the Packers, was that they played really bad football to start last year, and then they played incredible football down the stretch. They knocked the Cowboys out of the playoff. They were minutes away, seconds away from making a real deep run into a shot at the Super Bowl last year. So I think this year, if they take that step forward, if the defense plays well, they could actually find themselves in the NFC Championship game.
Especially if they win that division. If they win, they can come back and win that division.
Even without the division, because I think that they are the one team in the NFC that could do a great job going on the road and getting wins. I think the way that they are built, I think they have all the pieces to go on the road.
Well, they did it in the playoffs last year. I mean, we dominated in Dallas, and then they should have won that San Francisco game. Love threw that pick at the end, but they were winning the whole time. They almost made the NFC Championship last year. So
right now, NFC West, Seattle plus 170, Arizona plus 170, Los Angeles plus 280, San Francisco 11-1.
Okay. Wow. So pretty wide open. Seattle at Arizona.
The Niners,
Seattle at Arizona on Sunday will tell a lot. Arizona 2.5 point favorite. AFC wise, okay. The Bills are so hot. Would you say the Bills are the favorite over the Chiefs at this point? I still just, it's just the Chiefs playoffs thing. The Chiefs have a 1-game lead on the home field, but the Bills have the tiebreaker, and the Chiefs just getting away with. I mean, they could have lost to the Raiders, could have lost to Denver. Have you ever seen a team just like perfect the art of doing the bare minimum and win like the Kansas City Chiefs the last couple of years in the regular season?
I don't want to say they're doing the bare minimum because their defense is
the defense is elite.
Good.
I know on offense, but they never cover the spread.
I get what you're saying.
They never cover the spread. They just like pull everything out. They just always do. I mean, and it's a culture thing. It's a Reed and Patrick Mahomes thing. They just find a way, and they believe they're going to win. You know, it's happened like
That's what winners do.
It's like 5 times this year. That Bengals game week 2, Broncos 35-yarder, Raiders fumbling on their like 19 last week. It's crazy. It's every week, same thing. They got a big one at home against the Chargers. Big one this week. Chiefs by 4, 43. That'll be a very fascinating division game. Excited for that, for sure.
It was Christian McCaffrey one of the worst fantasy draft picks in history?
Yeah, no doubt. And it just sucks. I hate it for him, like I said yesterday. But, yeah, I mean, especially if you were in an auction league and you bid $65 on him of your $200 budget in a high-stakes league, and your team just died the second everything came out before the season even started. So,
all right. So chat thinks it's time for you to earn some more football minutes here. The one suggestion, and if they have other suggestions, throw them out to us. Something they suggested a moment ago, though, that I thought was kind of funny. They want you to do a random cold call, just dial, I guess, any number, and try and like basically be a DraftKings representative and try and get somebody to sign up for DraftKings.
We're not gonna that could happen eventually, but that's a no. That's a no right now.
All right.
I mean, I'm down to do stuff, but you know, that's a no. I can't fake being a DraftKings representative. That's a definite.
Did you ever prank call anyone as a kid? Because that was something that we did it way too much, to be honest.
I was the guy getting prank called, Moody. Let's be honest.
Okay, that's fine.
I was the one taking all the prank calls, and I still take them. Dude, like anytime I do the brick watch stuff, like I'm like any leads, like DM me or whatever, and I got prank called on so many brick watch phone calls. Like I'm 41 years old, still taking them. It's crazy. I don't know.
It's rough. No, we were bad about it growing up, man. We did way too many. I actually got in a lot of trouble one time because I prank called my freaking head baseball coach, former Major League Baseball player Tim Hewlett, and I decided it would be a great idea to prank call him at like 1:30 in the morning. He knew it was us, it was me. And we got back, and he was like, I had to run extra suicides. Like, it wasn't anything crazy, but he was like, right as we were getting ready to run suicides, and he was like, Moody, and you got 6 extra for that phone call the other night, and I had to run extra.
That's funny.
Polls is what it was we were running.
So, like, how'd the prank call go?
It was some dumb shit. We used to have this machine called not Rapsodo, Fungo Man. It was called Fungo Man. It was this Fungo Man. It was this pitching machine that could also shoot you ground balls and all this other shit. And I was pretending to be a representative from Japan, wanting to buy like 20 Fungo Man or some crazy
at 1:30 in the morning
like that. And like, because I was
he just smelled it out immediately.
He just smelled it out immediately.
Did you have a Japanese accent? Did you try to have a Japanese?
I was trying. Yes, I that's the part here that's being left out.
I could see that being a struggle.
Not Chinese, but I tried to pull that off and didn't work out. Got me some extra suicides in there.
Yeah, well, I feel like extra punishments are the theme here on the show.
Yeah, and sometimes when you do something dumb, you got to get punished, and that's part of the territory. Take the blame, give the glory, take the punishment.
Let's go, baby. Well, onward. We got good energy. I'm fired. I feel like the energy level's back today. Let's get after it. Let's have a hell of a day. We'll be back tomorrow. Like I said, new show tonight. Check it out. It's gonna be awesome. That's what I got. Thanks, Stella Blue. Thanks, Dude Wipes. Thanks, chat. Let's have a day, boys. Let's freaking go. Let's have a day. Thanks, buddy. Man, I love fall. The leaves are changing, football, and Stella Blue coffee. And this season, maple pumpkin pie. But my morning routine would not be complete without pumpkin spice Dude Wipes.
Oh, Mintzy, let it rip.
Cheers, furry fellas. Coffee that fuels you, wipes that clean you.